In one of my previous lectures, I have explained you about the ways to treat different types of adjustments in final accounts. Anyway, let me remind you the entire process of preparing final accounts. Final accounts include income statement and balance sheet. By income statements, we mean trading account and profit and loss account. And a trading account is an account that is exclusively prepared to include all the items of direct expenditures and direct incomes on both the sides of it. On the debit side of trading account, we record all the direct expenses, and on the credit side of trading account, we record all the direct incomes. Similarly, profit and loss account is an account that is prepared to indicate all the indirect expenses on the debit side of it and all the indirect incomes on the credit side of it. After preparing profit and loss account, trading account, we have to simply move on to the preparation of balance sheet, which is a statement showing the end balances of different assets and liabilities held by an organization as on the last date of a financial year. And I have also explained you clearly that whatever item that is given as an adjustment shall be shown at two different places in final accounts. For the first time, any amount of adjustment or any item of adjustment is to be shown in the trading account or profit and loss account as the case may be. And secondly, the same item of adjustment has to be once again shown on the balance sheet or either on the assets side or liabilities side of balance sheet. And all the other items that are given in trial balance have to be shown only once in final accounts, that is either in trading account, profit and loss account or balance sheet. Now, let us work out with one more illustration wherein we are supposed to prepare income statements and balance sheet. Just look at the details that are given. We are given with the end balances of a company pertaining to several items. This is a trial balance of the hypothetical company which contains capital. Capital is an item that is to be shown on the liabilities side of balance sheet. I have clearly explained in my other lecture that whenever you find a trial balance of this kind and whenever you are about to prepare final accounts, the first thing which you have to do is just mark all the items as per the places in which they have to be shown in the final accounts. Just have a look at the items that we have here. Capital is an item of balance sheet. It should be shown on the liabilities side of balance sheet. And debtors is a current asset. It is also to be shown on the assets side of balance sheet. Sales is a direct source of income or a direct income. It is to be shown on the credit side of trading account. Drawings are a loss to the company and it is an indirect loss, so as such it is to be debited to profit and loss account. Cash is a current asset to be shown on the assets side of BS, and then bank is a current asset to be shown in the assets list of balance sheet. Wages, direct expenditure to be debited to trading account. Purchases, direct expenditure to be debited to profit and loss trading account. Opening stock, direct expenditure to be debited to trading account. Business premises, an item of asset to be shown on the assets side of balance sheet. Bills receivable, a current asset to be shown on the assets side of balance sheet. Telephone expenditure is an indirect expenditure to be debited to profit and loss account. General expenses, an indirect expenditure to be debited to profit and loss account. Goodwill, a fictitious asset to be shown on the assets side of balance sheet. So these are all the figures of trial balance of a hypothetical company from which we have identified the items to be shown in trading account, items to be shown in profit and loss account, and items to be entered in balance sheet. Let us see what additional information pertaining to adjustments are given. These are all a few adjustments that are given to us with which we have to prepare final accounts. The first adjustment is with respect to the value of closing stock. Whenever it is given that the value of stock at the end of the accounting period is so and so, we should regard the same as closing stock. And when closing stock is given as an adjustment, it should be recorded twice in the final accounts. In the first place, closing stock is to be credited to trading account, and secondly, closing stock is to be shown as a current asset on the assets side of a balance sheet. Similarly, interest on capital at 6% is to be provided. It is given that interest on capital is to be provided at a rate of 6%. So we have to see the amount of capital in the information that is given to us. On the amount of capital, just calculate interest at the rate of 6%. Interest on capital is an indirect expenditure, so it is to be debited to profit and loss account, and again interest on capital is to be added to the capital on the liability side of balance sheet. Remember all the time that all the items of adjustment are to be recorded in two places in final accounts. Number one, either in trading account or profit and loss account, and secondly in balance sheet. Interest on capital at the first instance has to be debited to profit and loss account. Again, such amount of interest on capital is to be added to the capital on the liability side of balance sheet, and then interest on drawings at 5% is to be provided. So calculate interest on drawings at a rate of 5%. Drawings are given in the trial balance. Just calculate interest on drawings at 5%. Debit it to the P&L account. Interest on drawings is an indirect expenditure. It is to be included in the debit side of profit and loss account, and again it has to be shown as a current asset on the assets side of balance sheet. Any interest on drawings is a current asset to a businessman. And then write off bad debts amounting to 2,000. Bad debts are a loss to the company. Bad debts are irrecoverable losses, so they have to be debited to profit and loss account. Again, the amount of bad debts has to be deducted from the value of debtors on the assets side of balance sheet, and then create a provision for bad and doubtful debts on debtors at 10%. Again, just calculate provision for bad debts on debtors at 10% after deducting the value of bad debts from the value of debtors. Calculate provision for bad and doubtful debts at a rate of 10%. Debit it to P&L account. Again, deduct the. So having seen the ways in which adjustments have to be treated, let us move on to the preparation of trading account. As I have explained just now, trading account contains all direct expenditures and direct incomes. On the debit side of trading account, we record all direct expenses, and on the credit side of trading account, we record all the direct incomes. So let us see the direct expenses that are there in the given illustration. We have opening stock, which is to be debited to trading account, and the value of opening stock here is 30,000. And we also have purchases, which is a very good example for direct expenses, and as such purchases have to be debited to trading account, and the value of purchase here is 10,000. And we also have wages. When nothing is given, we should regard wages as a direct wages. Sometimes it may so happen that wages may include both the direct wages and indirect wages, and if at all such categorization is given, we have to debit direct wages to the trading account and debit the indirect wages to the profit and loss account. However, in our illustration we have only wages, so by wages we obviously mean direct wages, and as such the same has to be debited to trading account, and the amount of wages is 2500. So these three are the direct expenses that are given in the illustration, and we have debited all the three items. And on the credit side of a trading account, we start with the sales, which is a direct source of income. So by sales 59,700, and we should always end the trading account with closing stock. There will be only two items on the credit side of trading account, number 1 sales and number 2 closing stock. So the value of closing stocks is given as an adjustment, so we have to credit it to the trading account, and again the same closing stock has to be shown as a current asset on the assets side of balance sheet. So let us now balance the trading account. Balancing any account simply refers to the calculation of total amounts on both the sides, namely debit and credit sides. And when a company makes a profit, obviously credit side will be more than the debit side, because credit side indicates direct income and debit side indicates direct expenditure. So when direct income is more than direct expenditure, it is a case of gross profit, and vice versa. So just calculate the total of values on credit as well as debit sides, and we'll get a gross profit of 22,200, which is the difference between the total of credit side and debit side. So whenever we derive any gross profit, we have to write to gross profit carried down on the debit side, because only when the direct expenses are less than direct incomes we derive a gross profit. So since here direct expenses are less than direct income, the resultant would be a gross profit, and so we should write it on the debit side, because on the debit side only the amount is less. So to gross profit carried down 22,200. Again the same has to be taken to the other side, that is to the credit side, by writing by gross profit brought down 22,200. And after completing the preparation of trading account, we shall move on to the next stage of preparing profit and loss account. Let us see how to do it. This is the profit and loss account, and don't forget to write debit on the left side topmost corner and credit on the topmost corner of right side. So profit and loss account here includes all sorts of indirect expenses to be included on the debit side, and all the indirect incomes to be included on the credit side of profit and loss account. Again, go back to the trial balance that is given to us and check out the indirect expenses and indirect incomes to be included here in profit and loss account. And also don't forget to check out any kind of adjustments that are to be included in profit and loss account. You have to all the time remember that whenever you attempt to prepare final accounts, you have to thoroughly check all the items of trial balance, and also you have to thoroughly check all the kinds of adjustments, because adjustments have to be definitely reflected in trading account and profit and loss account. And to start with, profit and loss account has telephone expenses on the debit side, because telephone expenses are not manufacturing expenses, so they are indirect expenses and shall be debited to the profit and loss account. And we have general expenses, which are another indirect expenditure, so it should be debited, or the value of the same should be debited. And in the adjustments we are given with interest on capital to be calculated at 20%, at 6%, and the value of capital in the trial balance given is 1,20,000. It is given that the value of capital is 1,20,000, and in adjustments we are asked to calculate interest on capital at a rate of 6%. So calculating 6% of interest on 1,20,000 rupees of capital, we get the interest to be 7,200. So since interest on capital is an indirect expenditure, it should be debited to profit and loss account to interest on capital. Again, this interest on capital has to be added to the value of capital on the liabilities side of balance sheet. Remember, every time that all the items of adjustment have to be reflected twice in final accounts. And again, we have one more item of bad debts. So it is given as an adjustment. So once it is debited to the profit and loss account by writing two bad debts. Bad debts are those debts which are not recoverable by a company at any point of time. So all the irrecoverable debts are a loss to the company, and as such they should be debited to the profit and loss account. Again, the amount of bad debts have to be deducted from debtors on the assets side of balance sheet. Right now, write bad debts on the debit side of profit and loss account amounting to 2000 rupees. And we also have provision for bad debts. We are asked to calculate provision for bad debts at a rate of 10% on debtors. Here you have to understand and note one important element. For calculating provision for bad debts, you have to first of all deduct the amount of bad debts from debtors, and then only on the residual value you have to calculate a provision for bad debts. So in our given example, the value of debtors is 22,000 and the value of bad debts given as adjustments is 2,000. So we have to deduct bad debts from debtors before calculating provision for bad debts at a rate of 10%. So the result is 20,000. Now calculate provision for bad debts at a rate of 10%. 10% of 20,000 is simply 2,000. So this 2,000 has to be debited to profit and loss account. Again, if bad debts are not given as an item of adjustment, it should be debited only to the profit and loss account. And for calculating provision for bad debts, we need not deduct bad debts from debtors. Since here in our example, bad debts are given as an item of adjustment, we have to deduct value of bad debts from debtors before calculating provision for bad debts at the given percentage. So provision for bad debts is calculated at 10% on 20,000, not 22,000, because in the adjustments we have bad debts. So for calculating provision for bad debts, first of all we have to deduct the value of bad debts from debtors, and on the resultant figure only we have to calculate provision for bad debts at the given rate. Here it is 10%. So 10% of 20,000 is 2,000. So just debit it to P&L account to provision for bad debts 2,000 rupees. So that is all about the debit side of P&L account, and let us move on to the other side, that is credit side. On the credit side we shall always start with by gross profit brought down from trading account. So gross profit which has been ascertained from trading account is 22,200. We have to start profit and loss account with this figure of gross profit. If you fail to reflect a gross profit in the profit and loss account, your entire calculation will go wrong. And the other indirect incomes here to be credited to profit and loss account include interest on drawings. In our adjustments we are asked to calculate interest on drawings at a rate of 5%. Drawings are given to be 2,000 and 5% of interest on drawings would amount to 100 rupees. 10% of 2,000 is 200 rupees and 5% of it is 100 rupees. You may get a doubt as to why we are crediting interest on drawings on the credit side of a profit and loss account, or why we are crediting interest on drawings to profit and loss account. Interest on capital is an expenditure paid by an organization for the capital that it has borrowed from any source, whereas interest on drawings is a receipt or income that is earned by a company. You have to understand the meaning of drawings in order to understand whether interest on drawings is an income or expenditure. Drawings refer to the amount of money that is used by a proprietor for his own personal use, or the amount of business money or business funds that are used by a proprietor for his personal use are regarded as drawings. And drawings are a loss to the company, but however, interest on drawings is a source of income to the company. That is the reason why interest on drawings is shown as an indirect income on the credit side of profit and loss account. Don't forget. See, here you can see that the profit and loss account debit side contains an element with the name drawings. Drawings are given in trial balance, so we have to debit it to profit and loss account. Drawings are a loss, so it has to be debited to P&L account, and then we have a net loss. Since here in profit and loss account the debit side amount is more than credit side, the ultimate result of this company for the stated period is a net loss, not a net profit. The company has suffered from a net loss of 3,400. Just add up the amounts of debit side and credit side. You will understand that the amounts on the debit side are more than the amounts on the credit side, which obviously indicate that indirect expenses that are debited to profit and loss account are more than indirect incomes that are seen on the credit side of profit and loss account. So when indirect expenditures are more than indirect incomes, the result would be, or the difference of the amounts would be a net loss, and it should be credited by way of writing by net loss transferred to capital account 3,400. Now let us move on to the last step in the preparation of final accounts, that is preparation of balance sheet. Whenever you prepare a balance sheet, don't forget to write balance sheet as on the last date of the given accounting year, and on the left side we shall write liabilities, and on the right side we shall write assets. A balance sheet will not have a debit and credit sides, so we should call them left side and right side, or assets side and liabilities side. And to start with, we have to write capital, or we have to include capital on the liabilities side of balance sheet. And here in our given example, the value of capital is 1,20,000. And when we derive a net profit from the preparation of a profit and loss account, we have to add the net profit to the capital. But however, in our illustration, we have ascertained a net loss. So since it is a loss, it has to be deducted from capital. So the company has suffered a loss of 3,400 rupees. So we have to deduct net loss from the value of capital. Capital is 1,20,000, from which we have to deduct a net loss of 3,400, and the result will be 1,16,600. And to this we have to add interest on capital. To capital we have to add net profit or less net loss, and we have to add interest on capital also. Interest on capital is 7,200, and finally 1,16,600 plus 7,200 is 1,23,800. And another item to be shown on the liability side of balance sheet is creditors. We don't have any other item. We have only one current liability, that is creditors, whose value is 22,500. And let us move on to the other side, that is asset side of this balance sheet. We have goodwill. Goodwill is a fictitious asset, so it is to be included on the assets side of balance sheet. The value of the same is 10,500, and we also have business premises whose value is 60,000 rupees, and we have stock. The value stock here means closing stock, which is given as an adjustment. Closing stock is recorded on the credit side of trading account for the first time, and now here in the balance sheet we are recording it for the second time as an asset, and it is a current asset. By stock here we mean only closing stock, not opening stock. It is not to be mentioned that stock in balance sheet obviously mean closing stock only. And look at the case of debtors. From debtors we have to reduce the value of bad debts. Since bad debts are given as an item of adjustment, bad debts once have to be debited to profit and loss account, and secondly we have to deduct the value of bad debts from the value of debtors. So debtors 22,000 less bad debts 2,000, and there is a provision for bad debts also which is calculated to be 2,000. So we have to deduct 2,000 of bad debts and 2,000 of provision for bad debts from the value of debtors. So 22,000 minus 4,000 is 18,000. So the final value of debtors would be 18,000. After deducting value of bad debts and provision for bad debts, we get a value of 18,000. And then we also have bills receivable to an extent of 14,500, and we have cash balance of 10,000, bank balance of 8,200, and don't forget to include interest on drawings. Interest on drawings is a current asset. It is yet to be received and it is an income to be received or accrued income. So interest on drawings is once credited to the profit and loss account as indirect income, and secondly it is to be included as a current asset on the assets side of balance sheet. Let us test our luck by calculating the total of amounts on assets and liability side, and just look at the total of assets and liabilities. As you can see on the slide, the total of assets and liabilities is exactly equal at 1,46,300. So please keep on working out more and more problems.